Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of D&D CR Exposed. On today's episode we are looking at the Shadow Nymph from Tales from the Shadows. I don't know this book in particular and I don't know how this one's going to turn out, but it was a channel member request, so I'm definitely going to take a look at it and see what we come up with. It should be fun. But before we get into looking at the Shadow Nymph, let's talk about the business real quick and get that done. Well, what's the business, you ask? Or you're probably skipping ahead. The business is my tool here. If you like what I'm doing and you'd like to get this tool for yourself, you can get it completely for free at my Ko-fi page, link in the description below, or you can also donate if you feel so inclined to. Any support is greatly appreciated, and you can do so in a couple different ways. You can also become a channel member for as little as $1 a month, or you can support me at Ko-fi for the same amount as well, where you will get videos early before everyone else in the general public, as well as some other things that I'm working on getting to channel members and Ko-fi supporters. You can also look into some of my other projects where I have classes that I've been creating for Tales of the Valiant and 5th edition, as well as subclasses. There's also custom monsters and a few other items as well. On top of that, you can also like, subscribe, and leave a comment to support as the final way. If you'd also do so, that would be greatly appreciated. And oh yeah, share. Tell your friends about this channel because it's just silly math and whatnot. But in any event, let's go ahead and take a look at our Shadow Nymph here, again from Tales from the Shadows. So what are we looking at? Well, we have ourselves a CR6 Medium Fae. And we'll go ahead and throw that into the tool here. From there, we are going to work our way from the top down, and we start with 15 AC. We are not 51, 15. That would be really, really big if we had a monster with 51 AC. We have ourselves medium, which is perfectly fine, and then 11 hit dice, as we see here. From there, we're going to go ahead and throw in its stats. We have a 10 strength, 20 dex, 18 con, 12 intelligence, 15 wisdom, and 22 charisma. After that, we have some skills, doesn't matter. Resistances to cold and necrotic, since it's only 2, we don't care about those. Gear comes with a dagger, and then senses and languages. Moving on into the traits, we have amphibious, which doesn't affect us. We do have blinding beauty. When a creature that can see the nymph starts its turn within 30 feet, they have to make a con save if the nymph is incapacitated. Otherwise, let's see here, the creature is permanently blinded if they fail by 5 or more. Otherwise, the creature fails his save, is blinded for a minute. A blinded creature can repeat the save, hence the 1 minute. Unless surprised, a creature can avert its eyes to avoid the saving throw at the start of the turn. Okay, so this is... actually, hold on, let's see here. If the creature looks at the nymph in the meantime, it must immediately make the save. So there's nothing here about being immune. So in theory, we're going to figure 1, maybe 2 blinded. So right off the bat, our blinding beauty is probably going to result in, I'd say, maybe 1 effective AC bonus. So we'll put 1 in here because blinded is similar to pack tactics where it requires a special condition to get that, and we'll add just the 1 for the time being. After that, we do have Shadow Dweller, excuse me. Magical darkness doesn't impede the nymph's dark vision, so no big deal there. Water Spirit. While the Shadow Nymph is in contact with or submerged in a body of water, she ignores difficult terrain. Okay, cool. Can't be restrained. Can't reduce her speed or cause her to be restrained. Yep, and then that. So that doesn't really matter because we don't care about conditions. Moving on, we have a multi-attack. And in our action section, we are going to be doing, let's see here, the Nymph's Gaze. She then makes 2 dagger attacks. And the dagger attack is a +8 to hit, so which this is coming from our dexterity bonus. And we'll just go ahead and throw that in there. From that, we are dealing only 7 points of damage. So, okay, so 7.5 because we are attacking with a regular dagger. Nothing special here. But at least we do get to do that twice. And then from there, we have the Nymph's Gaze, which we can do once and then make our 2 dagger attacks. We have, let's see here, she can direct her gaze at 1 creature she can see, targeting the creature with one of the following effects. So she can pick between the 3. Icy Gaze, which is a DC 17 dex save, or the creature becomes restrained and is dealt 10.5 points of damage. Shadow Gaze, they have to make a DC 17 con save or take 18 necrotic damage. Or then we next do a Stunning Stare, which is going to be DC 17 charisma save or become stunned until its next turn. So that's only one round. So stunning is a bit of a defensive maneuver, and that would balance out the creature by reducing its offensive capabilities in theory. So while it is a good feature to stun, it's not fun for the players to be taken out of combat. So in theory, I'm just going to stick with probably Shadow Glare for now. So I'll put in all the other two here, the Icy Glare and Icy Glance and the Shadow Glare, and we will be doing 10.5 damage there or 18 damage here. So all in all, we're going to say for our maximum effort, Shadow Glare, as well as two uses of the dagger times 2 for a total of 33 points of damage. Now we do have spellcasting, and spellcasting, as I've mentioned before, unless it's a really good offensive spell, and if it's a new version of the monster manual or recently came out within, I think, the last 2 years, they have started reducing the amount of offensive magic and pretty much removing all offensive magic from any spell casting. So pretty much what we should see here is just defensive magic. So we have Barkskin, Conjure Woodland Beings, which I'm not going to impact, or I'm not going to add here because this is just going to increase the CR of the encounter in theory. Control Water, Darkness Verify, Water Walk, which technically is handy. We could do Darkness because she has that special Darkness feature of Shadow Dweller. This wouldn't impact her, so that's another way to increase her AC, probably with like a +4 AC bonus here, but that's taking away from offensive capabilities, so it would kind of balance itself out. So in theory here, we're not really going to bother with spell casting. Most of these are just going to be for thematic uses or for getting out of combat. So Fog Cloud, Darkness, Water Walk, those are all going to be kind of important beforehand. Barkskin, because her AC is already pretty much at the level for Barkskin, which I'm seeing here is going to be, should be probably turns this AC into a 15. No, the AC becomes a 17. Yeah, she probably could set that up on herself if need be, give herself Barkskin, but for the time being we won't bother with that. And then after that, after our spellcasting, we do have the Shadow Blend here. So the Shadow Nymph magically turns invisible until she attacks or uses Shadow Nymph's Gaze until she enters an area of bright light. So in theory, she will be in dim light or darkness for the entire encounter, in theory. So we're going to go ahead and give this superior invisibility because it's basically the same, giving her invisible through a bonus action. So she's going to get the +2 effective bonus here. All right, now that that's all pretty much taken care of, let's go ahead and throw in our combat, our offensive capabilities. And because we're not really worrying about spell casting, we're just going to go ahead and add this in right now. Okay, so because nothing is changing more or less for how our Shadow Nymph is attacking, I'm going to go ahead and just do this in the concentration area. So we have our multi-attack set up with our glare and our 2 dagger attacks. And we're seeing that actually, surprisingly enough, our Shadow Nymph at the moment is a CR5, the green zone here. The blue zone is where our defensive capabilities are before we include the AC the AC bonuses. So this is the hit points, this is the damage per round, and then we include attack bonuses and AC. These are the final values here, plus all the effective changes too. So as we're seeing here, due to a 6 offense and 4 defense, we have a 5 CR so far. But let's say we decide to throw on Barkskin beforehand. So we'll go ahead and update her AC from a 15 to a 17, and now we technically have a CR6. This would actually be a CR5.5, but because it's not offensive and we always, in D&D, when it comes to rolling for healing or for damage, we always round down. There's nothing that says in simple mathematics we don't round up. So I always round up, and this gets us to our CR6 with having bark skin on ourselves, as well as using shadow glare, and that's it. Yeah, and the shadow blend. If we aren't shadow blending, then we are going to be drastically reduced here. So we have to have low light or darkness at pretty much all times. And then if we switch to icy glare in our multi-attack, that's going to be what? 24. Yeah. We're going to drop down to a CR5. I mean, we're already at a CR5 just from not having the superior invisibility. But those are just some things to be aware of. So all in all, if the conditions are just right and your monster is rolling average damage, then you're going to see a CR6, just like was intended for the monster here. So there you go. This is the Shadow Nymph from Tales from the Shadows, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.